Hi guys, welcome to day 3 of the 12 pedals of Christmas, and today is going to be a really exciting one because we're actually going to see the Gigrig in action with the first pedal and the second pedal. So what we're going to do here in a second is going to cut away to pedal cam. I'm going to show you how you create presets on here for the foot switches, so you can add different sequences of pedals on different presets in different orders and all sorts of things. Before that, let me do a brief recap of the 2 episodes so far for people that haven't seen them. In the first episode, if you want to go back and watch, I explain what the series is about. I showed you what pedal board I'm using, what power supply, what cables and things like that. And then I showed you the Gigrig G3, which is the brand new sort of pedal selection computer for your pedal board from Dan from that pedal show. That's his company. Then yesterday I showed you the first pedal, which is the Cali 76 by Origin Effects. It's a great compressor pedal. It's studio grade, brilliant quality, and I use it basically like a clean boost to add sustain. So I've now plugged that in. I'm just going to show you what the amp sounds like by itself. So this Tone King, I've just got it back after a couple of months. It needed fixing, something went wrong. It was a bit complicated, but luckily it was under warranty, and I forgot how great it sounds. Beautiful lush reverb, and I can't wait to put it in a stereo pair with one of the 2 rocks. I'm sure that's something everyone would like to see as well. Okay, so that was by itself. Now I'm just going to kick in the compressor, and then we'll talk about what today's pedal is going to be. See, it adds a nice clean boost, it adds a bit more sort of blossom, and it feels more compressed, and it just sort of squidges under the fingers, so it's a really nice compressor. But now let's talk about what the next pedal is. This is the most important bit for today. Now, traditionally, if I wasn't using something like the Gigrig, and I was just using a sequence of pedals and I couldn't swap them around, the next thing would be a fuzz. So I'm sticking to that. I'm making the board look like it's in a conventional order, even though I can completely change it through the computer. So I would always put fuzz next before any other drive pedals. You want to boost the fuzz signal afterwards. You don't want to throw a massively boosted signal into the fuzz. It will go completely crazy. And obviously I'm not using any sort of filters or wahs, which would be at the beginning. So here's my options for today. I've got the Jimi Hendrix fuzz face from Dunlop. Part of the authentic Hendrix sort of branded series. It was my first ever fuzz pedal. There's a video I made about it maybe 6 months ago. I'll link that up here somewhere or there. And it's a nice pedal. It's got silicon or germanium. That's the reason I got it. I wanted to see what the main difference was. And it's got a decent level of fuzz. It sounds pretty good. In the end, it's not going to be the one on my board. I've got something a bit more exciting, I think. The next option would be the Octaland by Kington, which is a great octave pedal. It's sort of thing that Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan would have used. You can make it sound completely bonkers, psychedelic, great quality of sound as usual. Lots of options on here. It's a pedal I definitely want to make some sort of video about, but it's not going to be the one on the main board as the basis of all my sort of tone that I want to produce. It's a little bit too niche in that sense. It's not something I would use often. If I need to use it, I can swap it out for something at that time, but it's a lovely pedal. And then next I have The Secret Weapon by Dan Drive. And The Secret Weapon is the JD Simo pedal, I believe. JD is a great guitarist who I watch a lot of videos where he demos gear and he just sounds fantastic. This pedal is great. It can do the real spitty thing. It's pretty gnarly fuzz pedal. Doesn't have a lot of smoothness in it, if that's the right word, or warmth. And it's a little bit sort of wild or a bit crazy. It's very obvious that you've got on a pretty bright fuzz pedal, and it can do that spitting thing a lot with the buffering sort of thing that's in here. It's pretty cool. It's in a Spider-Man livery, and it's not going to be the one, I'm afraid. The next option is the Vintage Fuzz by Kington. Again, another fuzz pedal from Kington. This one is germanium fuzz, but you can choose between 2 different transistors in each slot. And when I made a video about fuzz about a month ago, I gave some detail about that, so I'll link that here and you can go and watch that if you want to. This is an awesome fuzz pedal. It really has the most vintage character out of all my fuzz pedals, I think. Really can go to a lot of great places, great tone, and it was a close contender for what would be on the board, but it didn't quite make it because my favourite fuzz pedal, for some certain reasons, is the one I've already attached that you won't have seen yet, which is the Austin Pride Fuzz by Dan Drove. Now Dan is he's based in Germany, real boutique pedal maker. There's a long wait list, can be up to a year or more, I think. And I was lucky, he emailed me when a shipment of pedals was going to a shop in Sweden, I think, and I ordered it, Sweden or Norway, and I ordered it from there just that morning, luckily, and it's already sold out by the end of the day. That pedal is germanium and silicon, and you can choose between the silicon or germanium for each of the positions. Basically fuzz, these sorts of fuzzes go through 2 phases of clipping that creates the fuzz. It's got a knob that has a C written next to it, which I believe is like a cleaning up knob, and for me that adds the ultimate sort of variety of tone. And the reason it's on the board is it can be an always on pedal with an edge of breakup, but a real nice breakup. It doesn't sound like another sort of overdrive pedal. It has that fuzz thing going for it. And then if I really needed fuzz, I can really whack it up quite quickly and get some really exciting tones out of it. And you'll have seen this on the channel a lot if you've been on here before. So yeah, I'll demonstrate that in a moment. First of all, let's go over to Pedal Cam. I'm going to show you how I've attached it very quickly. I'm going to show you how to use the effects loops on here. Each day I'm hoping to sort of show you something new about the G3, and I'm learning as I'm going along. So today we'll just talk about how to add an effects loop to one of the preset sort of buttons so that you can create your own sequences and everything, and I'll keep that really simple. And then we'll come back in a second and I'll show you what it all sounds like. Okay, so you can see I've got the Cali 76 now on the board, and it's set as preset number 1. So you keep the pedal always on, as I've done with the tuner. If I want to use the tuner, I just press this button here that says tuner on it, and that mutes everything and you can tune. It's a bit of a shame that that's not a foot switch. I don't know why they did it like that, but that's the way it's done. I'm only using 1 amp, so it's set with 1 output. I'm on preset 8 just because that's not using any of the banks here, or I should say effects loops, because banks are something else. So if I press number 1, I've already set it to number 1 there. So that is the Cali 76, and I can go back to number 8, which has nothing on. So I'll probably always keep 1 preset with nothing on because I think that's really useful. And then what I've done, I'll just show you. If I go to another empty one, you press the one you want, and then you move away from it, and when you come back, it's the same. I mean, if I press number 9, go away from it, come back, it automatically saves, and you can just turn these off again. It's really simple. So I've already got number 1 set for the Cali 76, and we're going to have the Austin Pride Fuzz here, where I've already made the cables for it, so that's only going to take a second. Okay, so the cables have come through. You put the input into the send, which is the top one, and the output of the pedal goes into the return. And then I'm actually waiting for some new Velcro to turn up because I'd run out. But this is on there, and then I can use any of these power cables that I've got here, which again are not fully set up properly, but as I go along I'll be tidying everything up. Okay, so now I've got that on, and then that's number 2. So I've actually set that to foot switch number 2. So now just the fuzz is on in whatever setting that you've created. And then I've set number 3 to be both of them together. So you can see 1 and 2 have come together. 2 alone, 1 alone, nothing. It's just the most simple, elegant solution for this sort of thing. And that's how you use the loops to create presets. And by tomorrow I'll have figured something else out, and I'll let you know what else you can do. Just so you know, I bought these cables not because they're gold, although they are cool. They're good Ernie Ball cables, they're pretty expensive, but I needed some flat ends at this end here. The other thing to note, just to add to the last video where you saw me stripping some cables, which can't have been that interesting, but just to add is I've had to buy 2 more packs of those cables to do this board. It looks like the cables and the ends alone are going to come to around £400, which is unbelievable. So there may be other solutions out there that don't cost quite so much, but that's what I've gone with for this board. Right, let's go and see what this sounds like. Alright guys, so you've seen now how that all works. It's very simple, it's very well thought out, and I really think it's a great tool. So let's go through a few tones, shall we? So again, the amp. Okay, and then we're going with the compressor again, so that's in preset switch number 1. See, it's a really nice full tone, the amp and the compressor together. Let's turn the compressor off and put on just the fuzz. So, again, we're getting some noises out of the amp. There's going to be a lot of tweaking and troubleshooting to get all of this right with all these cables and everything. But here we go. My taste in fuzz is pretty tame, really, but I think it's got such a nice sort of flavour to it, if we can term it like that. Now we're going to go to the next one where we've got the compressor and the fuzz on, with the compressor first. Epic. That's exactly what I wanted. The compressor's boost goes into the fuzz and it just kicks it up a notch, and it gives me such a wide variety of tone that I can get. You know, as you heard, the fuzz by itself was not crazy. really cleans up nicely. So it's almost completely clean at that point. And then I could always kick in the compressor again. I think it's a really fun way to start off the board, to get some really nice tones out at the beginning. As the days go on, I'm going to be using different guitars, different amps. So that was just a Strat into the Tone King, and tomorrow maybe we'll have some humbuckers into something else. And each day we'll sort of see how the different tones all add up together. So hopefully you can join along on that. If you're enjoying this series, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. If you do, and you comment, you can win this ODR 1 pedal by Nobles. It's a fantastic natural overdrive, and I'll send it anywhere in the world once I hit 1,500 subs. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll move on to the next pedal. Cheers.